Sustainability, buzzword? By Sonia Seixas, Johnny Montagna and Maria João Felix from Portugal, with special acknowledgement to FCT, CAUD and Lisbon School of Architecture from Universidade de Lisboa. The purpose of this paper is to reflect and understand how Portuguese higher education in textile and fashion design addresses the issue of sustainability in the preparation and training of undergraduate students. In Portugal, of the 7 Portuguese bachelor's degree in textile and fashion design, only 3 have specific curricular units on sustainability issues. The Bachelor's in Fashion and Textile Design of the Higher School of Applied Arts, Castelo Branco Polytechnic Institute. The Bachelor's in Fashion Design of the University of Beira Interior. And the Bachelor's in Fashion and Textile Design and Production of the Higher Institute Manuel Teixeira Gomes. Which leads us to ask what knowledge future textile and fashion designers acquire in the field of sustainability, which is a concern of the 21st century. The world is constantly changing, with new problems emerging on the cultural, social, economic, environmental, and ethical levels that are becoming increasingly complex. Textile and fashion designers need to integrate sustainability concerns during the creative process and inspire a new mindset and attitude throughout the value chain. In November 2021, the Portuguese textile industry has increased its export volume by 16% compared to November 2019, representing an export value of €5.4 million, highlighting the importance that this industry has for weaving the Portuguese social and economic. Despite these positive results, the textile and clothing industry is criticized for the amount of waste produced and for the significant impact on environmental, energy, water and resource consumption, and is in a process of change. Academia must also rethink pedagogy by training designers with sustainability, circular economy, digitalization and decarbonization skills to address these challenges. It is scientifically proven that the textile and clothing industry harms the environment, but this can also be turned into opportunities by restructuring its business models and production processes, considering the spheres of decarbonization, circular economy, sustainability and digitalization throughout the production chain, from fiber to disposal. In 2021, the European Commission has considered the textile industry as one of the strategic sectors to boost the economy in the industrial strategy for the European Union. And the role of the textile designer is fundamental to decision-making throughout the textile product development process, as 80% of the environmental impact of textile products is determined in the design phase. The linear model that drives social, cultural, ethical, and environmental degradation must be redesigned to a circular model that keeps textile products and materials in use while regenerating nature. Education in the 21st century is in a transition process. It is important to include pedagogical practices that address different areas of knowledge and integrate transversal fields, such as sustainability, circular economy and digitalization in a multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary and transdisciplinary vision. Designing a textile object requires continuous thinking. It is a complex process in which not only the material but also the socio-cultural aspects must be considered, placing the design at the center of the socio-ethical dimensions of sustainability. It is important to align education systems with the changes in the textile and clothing industry to promote a sustainable textile ecosystem, because only then can education be part of the solution. Going beyond the traditional approach and prepare future textile and fashion designers to apply theoretical and practical knowledge to real-world problems through formal and non-formal learning in a closer relationship between academia and industry. The design activity is a collaborative, multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, and transdisciplinary activity. It is a complex process that involves multiple phases. It is anything but an isolated activity. In Portugal, there are 7 programs for a bachelor's degree in textile and fashion design, 4 are public schools and 3 privates. Only 2 higher education institutions integrate the textile field in their programs. The Bachelor's in Fashion and Textile Design of ISART, and the Bachelor's in Fashion and Textile Design and Production of ISMET. In an analysis of their study plans, it was found that only 3 of the 7 existing programs include specific curricular units addressing sustainability. Sustainable Fashion Design of the UBI Bachelor's Degree in Fashion Design. Sustainability in Fashion of the ISART Bachelor's Degree in Fashion and Textile Design. And Sustainable and Circular Fashion of the ISMET Bachelor's Degree in Fashion and Textile Design and Production. In a ratio relationship between ECTS and curricular units, the problem is even more frightening. Students do not acquire even 3% of knowledge in sustainability field in their academic career. Is it not important to think and, above all, to act in the face of this scenario? In view of this analysis, it was important to understand what kind of Portuguese academic programs are focused on sustainability in the scientific field of design. At the bachelor's degree, out of 58 programs, there is only one, the Bachelor's in Sustainable Design from the University of Trás-os-Montes e Alto Douro. At the master's degree, out of 74 programs, there is also only one, the Master's in Design for Sustainability, lectured in association between 5 higher education institutions, FAL, FBUL, FCUL, ICS and ISEG. These results show that Portugal is still at a very embryonic stage in terms of teaching design in combination with sustainability, which in turn raises questions. Is it not important to think and, above all, act in the face of this scenario? Is it not, in fact, a buzzword, sustainability, since according to the collection and analysis of the data presented, this topic is still very little present in Portuguese higher education in the field of design? Is it not also the mission of academia to train professionals who feel prepared to face the current and future challenges of our planet? The design activity also consists in anticipating problems and seeking solutions that consider all dimensions of environmental, economic, social, cultural, and ethical sustainability. The textile and clothing industry is in a process of change, looking for strategies that minimize environmental, social, economic, and cultural impacts, with a focus on decarbonization, sustainability, circular economy and digitalization. Higher education in textile and fashion design should be more aligned with the changes in textile and clothing industry, and incorporate sustainability transversally, and in different disciplines, that contribute to building a promising textile ecosystem for the future. Provide new learning experiences by acquiring a new vision of knowledge, a new way of thinking to respond more effectively to change, and ensure that a range of social and ethical commitments are fulfilled by acting as a social innovator, with tools that enable designers to make informed decisions that are oriented towards a more socially just and better developed future. Only in this way can academia prepare students for the challenges of the present and the future, always keeping in mind the socio-environmental well-being of the human being and the planet. As a future study, it is intended to continue this research to understand how issues related to sustainability, circular economy and society can be more expressively considered in higher education in textile and fashion design, so that these future professionals can capitalize the knowledge and face the emerging challenges of the sector, the society, and the planet. For this, it is necessary to begin to delicately weave a curricula based on the weaves of knowledge. Thank you.